Good morning, Alicia and Keenan. A professor at Michigan State says regardless of a protest's goals or of the ideologies of the people there, participants normally do share some common traits. And as we saw on Wednesday, what began as a protest turned into a violent mob.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
The beginnings of a pro-Trump march in D.C. that escalated into a violent storming of the U.S. Capitol building, in which 5 people so far have died as a result. Assistant professor of psychology Mark Brandt believes those in attendance exhibit traits of any large protest movement. In addition to having a strong group identity, he says the people who traveled by bus and spent money on hotels were likely confident they would change something.
They tend to have the belief that the protest will be effective in some way.
In this case, the outcome of an already certified election.
People who engage in protests typically have really strong emotions, and particularly negative emotions like moral outrage and anger.
Brandt says this is the case regardless of a group's message. President Trump, whose latest video on Twitter condemns Wednesday's violence, urges calm, and promises a smooth transition of power, exhibited a different tone with his supporters 2 days ago.
Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength.
Hearing, hey, go attack, fight for what we believe in, people take those words literally. They look to their leaders for this kind of guidance, and they take that guidance.
It's of note here that Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's attorney, who has since condemned the violence, said, and I quote, he called for trial by combat before that violent riot occurred. And lawmakers now on both sides of the aisle have said that President Trump's rhetoric is directly to blame for that violent assault at the U.S. Capitol building. So far, more than 80 arrests have been made, and federal investigators are now attempting to identify people who chose to breach the Capitol, loot, and riot. Reporting live this morning, Jen Shantz, 7 Action News.